Hey, welcome World Entertainment, and it's finally here. You know, it only took them almost 3 years to release the fully complete Ironheart series. Yet, Marvel's new disaster has hit Disney Plus, and we're about to review the first 3 episodes. And basically, you want to see my reaction? What I was like watching 3 most painful things I've ever sat down to watch with the Marvel brand on it. It looked something like this.
Shut up!
Why?
This whole thing fucking sucks. I mean, this is the biggest pile of shit.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, this show is possibly the worst thing Marvel have ever done, and it's absolutely no wonder. They did everything they could not to release this. And hands down, I cannot wait, and I truly, genuinely mean this, I cannot wait to see the shills do everything they possibly can to say that this thing is the best Marvel show they've put out since, you know, the last best Marvel show they put out, and the last best Marvel show they're gonna put out until the next best Marvel show they put out. They are gonna have to go into overdrive to try and defend this thing, and of course they will do their usual. If you don't like this, and everyone who's dunking on it, you're just racist and bigots and you hate seeing black people, blah blah blah. This thing, to try and even defend it just exposes you for what kind of window licking retard you truly are. This thing is a mess. To start with, the characters, Riri, yeah, she's absolutely unlikable. First thing you find out, oh yeah, not just is she a genius, she's the best genius in the world. In fact, number one, they have to keep telling you that. And two, she literally says, that's right away, they crap all over Iron Man by saying, I'm so much of a genius that Tony Stark only was able to have a suit because he had billions. Yeah, that's right. How quickly Marvel seemed to forget that Iron Man created the first Iron Man suit in a goddamn cave with 0 computers, no Jarvis, nothing like that. Basically, a hammer and a welding torch. That was it. And scrap metal. Yet, Riri is telling you, oh, if it wasn't for his billions, he would never have been Iron Man and he could never have created a suit because I'm a genius. She gets expelled. Why does she get expelled? It's not just because she's an unlikable character. By the way, from word go, she's a villain. This character, from start to finish, she's a villain. She was selling all the components of other tech from the university she's in to other universities so she could try and get money. She's trying to make millions to upgrade her suit. Yeah. And then she starts doing really questionable things. So she gets expelled. She flies back to Chicago. And I truly need to know and understand this, because in the first episode, when she gets back to Chicago, I didn't know they moved Chicago to Africa. And what I mean by that is, every single person on the streets that she speaks to, that you see in the background, all that stuff, are black. Every single last one of them. You're just like, God damn, I did not know that Chicago was Africa. But there you go. At least that only happens in the first episode. There's like 2 other white people from there on. But the other characters, first off, and they start trying to push this over the last couple of days, the trans actor and the drag queen thing, holy hell. To start with, RuPaul's Drag Race thing, yeah, couldn't act to save their life. Is meant to be this fierce hacker, as they say themselves, has nails that would make Freddy Krueger envious, and they're trying to hack and type, and quite frankly, it's the most retarded thing you've ever seen, because the way they're typing is like, yeah, you can't actually type like that because you'd just be fat fingering every goddamn button. If I can find a clip to actually put online, you'll see it somewhere in this, if I can find one. The trans person, who's meant to obviously be a dude, it's a girl, and I think they only start transitioning like a year or half ago or something. Well, obviously they'd have done it before this show, but a year or something before this show was made. They're meant to be called, what's their names? Is it Roger or Jerry? I think it's Jerry. And him, it's a her. And I think they said it's meant to be their twin sister, are underground fighters. And this is the hilarious thing. Every scene, basically, where they're going into operations stuff, are kicking the shit out of giant guys. And the funniest part about that is, this actor, the trans one, is only 5'6", and they're kicking the crap out of it. By the way they sit and act and talk and move is literally what someone's interpretation of a tough guy is. And it's funny as hell to look at. You're just like, my god, this is ridiculous. It gets worse. Like, none of the characters are likable. They're all horrible. Every one of them. Horrible people. The character you see... Oh, by the way, Alden Ehrenreich, his character named Joe, until in the third episode you find out he's not Joe, he's Zeke. Zeke Stane. That's right. He's Obadiah Stane's son. You remember Obadiah? The villain from the first Iron Man movie. Yeah, that's who he is. And it's revealed in the dumbest way. But none of them are likable. Absolutely horrible character. The character in the trailer that you see, that's the girl, and it's like, who else would it be? Bits. You're like, who is this character? You're not even sure who it is until halfway into the second episode, when they actually finally tell you who this person is. Now, you keep getting these weird flashbacks from Riri of this person. You're like, is this meant to be her sister? Her stepsister? And the reason I say stepsister is because they make very clear that the guy that was in her life was her stepdad. And they were gunned down. They were in a drive-by shooting. This other girl and her stepdad, Gary. It turns out it's her best friend. That's all this person is their best friend. And she manages to upload the consciousness or something of the friend to become the AI of the suit. And for some reason, it has all the friend's memories and stuff. Like, literally, even Riri at stages are like, how can you possibly remember that and know that? And it's like, yeah, that is a good question. How could they know that? Red Hood is a joke. Absolute joke. It does nothing. Just one, like, he's walking around in the street with this cloak on half the time. You're like, okay. But it seems to be that it is leading into possibly Mephisto being a part of this as well. I believe Mephisto is actually this time meant to show up in this show. We'll wait and see whether that actually happens. But yeah, it's just a joke. There's an element that as soon as you see it, like, of course that's in there. Riri goes into her bedroom when she goes back to Chicago. What's on the wall? Yeah, you probably guessed it already. A big Black Lives Matter poster. But what's next to the cringy Black Lives Matter poster is a big yellow poster that says men working. Except it doesn't say men working, because if you look closely, it has written above men, no. So it says no men working. Yeah. Everyone Riri meets has to tell her how great she is and, wow, you're like the super genius Riri Williams. I heard you're so super genius. And it just gets retarded from there. She literally is turning to crime, even though she was already turned to crime, just to get money to upgrade her suit. And she's not upgrading the suit because she wants to be a hero. She doesn't want to protect people or anything. She literally, and says this, not just the iconic, she wants to be known as something better than Tony Stark. And that she was able to build a suit simply because she could. That's her whole goal. That's right. It's not to protect people and stuff. Even though they try and allude it in the third episode that she wants to build a suit because her stepdad and best friend got murdered. But she's flat out says because she wants to be seen as something more iconic and better than Iron Man. There's so much shade thrown at Iron Man in this. It's a joke. Tony Stark and all that stuff. And The funny thing is, when they do it at the start, she says, like, I'm not throwing shade. And it's like, that's exactly what you're doing. This show is painful to watch. And the episodes are goddamn long. The first episode is like 40 something minutes long. The second episode is longer. It's like 45 minutes long. And the last episode is almost 50 minutes long. And it's like, sweet Jesus. It is the worst garbage that you could possibly imagine. Like, it is horrendous. Things happen for the sake of things happening. I cannot wait to see people try and defend this thing. And it's funny, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, they got the critics score at 72. And it's like, wow, critics really like it. Until you actually press top critics. And that drops all the way down to 45%. Audience score is hilarious because not only they tell you have to be verified, you have to have the verified accounts to score. Yeah, oddly enough, they're missing. You just have all audience score and it's at 72%. Don't know who's exactly rating. I bet you anything the scores are all this stuff that are people shitting over saying what garbage it is, but still rated fresh. I guarantee you that's what that is. It's horrendously bad. The acting is terrible, and I do mean terrible. I love the fact that Ryan Coogler came out the other day and tried to tease how Ironheart is a massive link up, an indication of what's going to happen in Doomsday. It's like, no, it isn't. Number one, this was made almost 3 years ago and was ready to be put out 3 years ago. Doomsday was never on the cards back then. Never ever. It was not even meant to be a part of the plan. Kang was meant to be a part of the plan. So no, this will not connect in any shape or form to anything coming in the MCU. Not to Fantastic Four, not to Vision, not to Doomsday and Secret War. Nothing. It is utter trash. And I would recommend you put your head through the wall rather than watch this thing. I'll be honest with you and up front here, I can barely remember what actually happened in the second episode because I started to zone out hard. It's that unbearable. So, no one's likable, they're all villains, and this show should have stayed on the shelf. If it wasn't for those contracts, Marvel would never have put this thing out. And the fact that people in Marvel are saying, yeah, this is the worst thing Marvel have ever actually made, is hilarious. And again, with all that being said, I can't wait to see the Shields try and defend this thing. And of course we know what their go-to will be. Oh, people are just hating it and review bombing it because they hate black people and women in power and blah blah blah. And it's like, shut the hell up, you morons. Marvel didn't even want to put this out. But it's trash, it's painful, and come next week, I believe it is next week, I will watch the final 3 episodes. So you poor people, so you good people don't have to. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.